Welcome to another edition of Walton Entertainment. Today we'll have more news, information, and entertainment from your local hometown.
Good morning. Thank you for watching. I'm Dina Huff, the Executive Director for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth. And with me this morning I have David Drum from Ridgeview here in Monroe. Welcome, and thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And I've invited David here to tell us a little bit about Ridgeview, Monroe, and we're going to tell you about a few of the programs and what they see come into the hospital here in Monroe. So tell us a little bit about Ridgeview, David.
Okay, so Ridgeview Institute is two locations, one here in Monroe. We also have a location in Smyrna. And it is a psychiatric hospital and substance use treatment center. And we service ages 12 and up. So we have a program for adolescents, we have a program for adults, and also for geriatrics. Okay.
And let's talk a little bit about private pay, insurance. What types of insurance do you accept?
Basically, we take all insurance except for your straight Medicaid. So we do take your managed Medicaid, but we don't take the straight Medicaid. So everything else, all insurance policies, we accept. TRICARE, Medicare.
Okay. And I know that we've had discussions in the past to let you all know at Ridgeview that we've been conducting a community needs assessment for Walton County, and the thing that keeps coming up is mental illness. So what all do you offer for, I guess, adults and the youth population for those types of illnesses?
So there's three levels of care, actually.
Okay.
So first is inpatient, and that would be somebody that is a danger to themselves or others, and very acute, and so would need an inpatient stay for stabilization, and that's true for adolescents, adults, or the geriatric population. And then once somebody is stabilized, then we can step them down to what's called a partial hospitalization program, and PHP for short. So basically they're there all day and they attend groups and they're still seen by a psychiatrist, and managed, their medications are managed and all the things that are necessary, but they go home at night. So they're just there during the daytime during groups. Then the next level down would be an intensive outpatient program, an IOP, and this would be only a few times a week for a few hours, but still get a lot of the psychotherapy and groups and education.
Okay. How big is your facility? How many beds?
So here in Monroe, we have 88 beds.
Wow.
The unit over in Smyrna is 188. So between the two facilities, there's 276 beds. So basically, we always have a bed available. Also, what's available in Smyrna is a 60-bed residence. So if somebody, let's say they come in for detox from a substance use issue, and then they can step down to their partial program, but they live far away, so they could actually live inside the residence and attend the partial group and go through go through the whole program. Okay. Yeah, for addiction treatment.
Well, let's talk for a minute about your geriatric unit.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell me about that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, it's it's a family issue. I mean, you work with the Family Connection here at the partnership, and a family, mental illness and addiction, it's a family issue. And so one of the really scary things that any family deals with is when their parent or their loved one that's becoming into that age group of seniors and not able to take care of themselves anymore, or facing some of those challenges, is that whole transition. And so what we're seeing in our geriatric unit is a lot of patients that have perhaps some substance use issue, and it's not easy to talk about, but especially when it's your mom or your dad, but there's a lot of loss at that stage of life. There's their retirements, they're not working, they don't feel like they have a sense of purpose, their friends are passing away, maybe even a spouse has passed away, there's grief, there's so we see a lot of depression, we see a lot of substance use, we Unfortunately, that age group is at most risk for suicide. We think of suicide as a youth problem, but really the segment of the population that is most at risk is the seniors over 65, especially males over 65.
Wow.
So we see a suicidal ideation at that stage. So we deal with that, a lot of that. And then what we also see is a population that maybe they've never had a history of mental illness, but now they're in that age group and they're facing some of those issues, but they also have a little onset dementia or some cognitive decline. And because of that, there's organic things that are happening in their brain that are causing the depression and the anxiety and paranoia, maybe hallucinations. And so a family is facing that. What do I do with mom? What do I do with dad? She's having, she's mean and aggressive and, saying things that are off the wall. And what do we do? So a lot of times what we're doing is helping a family transition their loved one from perhaps the home to an assisted living, but they can come, they can stay inpatient for a few days. We can stabilize that person on medication to handle some of those psychiatric issues, to diminish some of those symptoms, and then they can be a lot more at ease in an assisted living or some kind of senior care facility, or even at home. There's a lot of home care agencies that can help people at home.
So how would that work? Let's say a family had a need.
Okay.
Would they just show up at Ridgeview or make an appointment, or would they need a referral from a
We
physician?
are open 24/7. So yes, anybody could come in at any time and ask for a no-cost assessment.
Okay.
That is a
And that's
possibility.
for any program?
That's
A
for any.
no-cost-
That
okay.
actually is for any program.
Okay.
But you can always call ahead and make an appointment.
Okay.
That's okay too, or just give the clinician a heads up and some background information before you come in. But
Okay.
either way, if it's an emergency and somebody's not safe, for example, in your setting, if there was a teenager or somebody you just did not feel safe
Right.
letting them out of your sight, so just bring them,
Okay.
and we'll do a no-cost assessment.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be admitted or
Right,
committed,
right. Yeah.
but we can definitely do a level of care assessment to determine what their need is
Okay.
and make recommendations. And anybody who is in our hospital is part of treatment. We're going to build an aftercare plan. So if somebody's in the hospital for 5 days and they're stabilizing, it's
Yeah.
not like, okay, we're done, bye,
Right.
we're building an aftercare plan. We're getting that person appointments with therapists, with psychiatrists, building a safety net for support groups and all those things, giving those resources.
So do you bring the family back in at some point to?
As I said,
Actually-
it's a family
Yeah,
family issue.
okay,
So we
good.
definitely want to bring the family involved and get the family involved. And a lot of times the family has no clue, especially
Yeah.
for a young person that has their first psychiatric break. And it's like, wow, where did this come
Right.
from? And the family has never even thought about mental illness.
Yeah.
And so now, what do I do? And then we have a lot of resources. You can actually go to our website, ridgeviewinstitute.com. We have a whole list of resources, education that's available. For example, the NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and different organizations that support families. I think one of the main things that people need to know is that they're not alone. They're not
Right.
alone facing this. And there's other people that have gone through it before and can help you along the way. So you're not alone. You need to reach out. And there's nothing wrong with reaching out.
Right.
I think that mental illness, the stigma of mental illness and addiction is becoming less and less, but it still nevertheless is there's a lot of stigma around it,
Yeah.
and people don't want to talk about it.
Well, and I know it's hard for families to understand when it does happen. You may think, talking about stigma, you may think, well, I don't have someone in my family that acts like that or that's happening to, but it does. So I think you all being there to help the extended family or the family members of that loved one to understand what is taking place, what's going on, what to expect
Right.
after they leave the hospital is very important. So,
Absolutely.
what about, let's see, there was something else I was going to ask. But but it just left my brain, so I won't ask you. But it's wonderful that we have this, and I know that we struggle looking for places to send our families. So are there? Yes, it came to me. I'm sorry.
He's going to edit this, so you know.
Okay, for people such as myself and the counselors, school counselors, teachers, if do you have groups that offer continuing ed education in classes and stuff at your hospital in Monroe?
We do. We have education groups for counselors. Quarterly we have, and we offer CEs, which is continuing education credits. We are having support groups in the evening, and again, you can go to our website and see which support groups are happening on which nights.
Okay.
So yeah, all that is available. I mean, because educating yourself is so important.
Okay.
Educating yourself and being with peers and others that are going through the same thing is very, very important.
Right, right.
And I think another thing that's important to point out is that people have the right and the ability to advocate for their family and for their loved ones and for treatment. And so we have this great resource here in the community, and you can say, this is what I want for my loved one, and it's, you know, it's not like the system is just going to take over, and you know, you can advocate for treatment for your loved one, and that's very important to understand, just like you would for any physical ailment.
Yeah, I mean, you are your biggest advocate for your family. So if you're not there to advocate for them, but I do appreciate you coming. Is there anything else you'd like to share about Ridgeview and Monroe?
Well, I mentioned the website and the 24/7 no-cost assessments, and when in doubt, just call.
Okay.
You know, like I said, there's a stigma, but you've got to overcome and advocate for what you need and reach out, and there's nothing wrong with reaching out, and so just call. And if we're not the right fit for somebody, we have resources that we can point somebody in the right direction.
Good.
So,
well, I appreciate you coming this morning and being my guest. And if you ever have questions for us here at the partnership, you can always give us a call here at our office. And as always, thank you for watching.
Hey folks, we're going to show you some dogs and cats that are here for adoption at Walton County Animal Control. But first I wanted to put a little word out. You know, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes our pets can come across encounters with these guys. We've got skunks that are in the county, raccoons, other animals. But these two in particular, you know, they're rabies vectors. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, but they can carry rabies and they may come in contact with your pet. We did have one recently where it's actually the dog ran out and attacked the raccoon, but that raccoon did test positive for rabies. Whenever that happens, if your dog has a current rabies shot, you have to do a 45-day observation of the dog to make sure it doesn't get sick. If you don't have a rabies shot or it's expired, the Georgia state rabies law requires 6 months of strict isolation in a double-walled pen. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't afford that or do that. This last dog owner ended up having to put their dog to sleep because they couldn't put the dog in a 6-month isolation. So, you know, a rabies shot is a very, very important thing. And there's so many options. Your local vet has them, but there's also options at low-cost clinics. There's going to be one coming up in April 27th from 10 to 2. This is going to be at the Paradox Spay Neuter Clinic right near Walnut Grove High School. The rabies shots are only $16 for your dog or cat. So imagine that. Just taking that day, that afternoon, getting a $16 shot, or you forget about it and your dog encounters one of these and may end up needing to be put to sleep because you can't do a 6-month isolation. So really important, even in this day and age. Yeah, rabies is really under control, but it still can be out there. So just the best thing, go ahead, get that $16 rabies shot at that clinic, or make sure with your regular vet that your vaccines are up to date. Just do the right thing, make sure they're all current. And so now we're going to show you some of the dogs and cats that are here. But as always, you can see the pets on waltonpets.net.
This is Rowan. She is a 1-year-old pit bull, and she was found on Cook Street. And She has been vaccinated and dewormed and everything. She's so sweet and very loving, and she will be ready this Saturday.
Okay, here we have a pit bull. Her name is Bella. She's a female. She's not spayed. She's about 5 years old. She's a really sweet dog. Sit down.
This is a male pit mix. Very sweet. Seems to get along with others. Needs a home fast.
And here we have a little beagle. It's a female. We're calling her Lulu. She's probably 2 or 3 years old, and as you can see, she's ready to go sniff out something.
He is an owner surrender, and he's very sweet, and he's really good with other dogs. Come on, mister.
This is Bill. Just a little mixed breed. It's a male. He's 2 or 3 years old. He's very friendly. He doesn't seem to mind other dogs. He's looking for a good home.
You're watching Walton Entertainment.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful in the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Again, I know I probably sound repetitive, but I did want to mention again, I know that it's springtime and a lot of people are starting to spruce up around the yard and clean out garages and things like that. And we've had to turn a number of people away that's, you know, bringing in hedge trimmings, grass clippings, and leaves and things like that. We don't want to have to turn you around, so just remember those items need to go to an inert landfill. We have several throughout the county, pretty close to every community in the county. Feel free to give us a call down here. We'll give you the number to those places, tell you where they are, make sure you're getting the number to the one nearest to you. But those things do need to go there. Again, our number here at the Recycling Center is 770-267-1421. So give us a call. We'll be happy to help you find some of those locations. Going forward, we do have a document destruction event that's scheduled for June 1st. And that has been confirmed. What we're hoping to do is we're hoping to have another week-long tire amnesty to go along with that. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but we did want to just make mention to let you know we are trying to pull that off, and I'll keep you posted as we go forward. But again, the document destruction for June 1st has been confirmed, and that is set in stone. And as we get further along, we'll give you exact times for that. But did want to make you aware so you can start rounding up some of your documents and stuff for shredding. In the meantime, with spring coming up, you know, it's a good time to start recycling. You're going to find things that you're tempted to throw away that can be recycled. Maybe you haven't been recycling. And I know I talk about it all the time, but give us a call. Let us show you how to help, you know, get started recycling. Some of those things you're throwing away that's costing you a little money to throw away, while you're here throwing away other things, you could save a little money by recycling the things that can be recycled instead of throwing them away. So come on out and visit us. We've got some new things going on, and we're always looking to do new things. We now have an ink cartridge recycling that's right here at the back door of the center in our recycling drive-through, where we're accepting ink cartridges separate from the computers. So we're happy to get that started. That's something new, and we're going to continue to look for new things that we can recycle to try to keep stuff out of the landfill. There's less landfill space in our part of the state than anywhere else in the state. So when our landfills fill up, we're going to be having to go much further away to open up new landfills. And when we're having to carry our trash farther, we're all going to be paying a lot more to get rid of it. So we want to make sure that things that don't need to go in the landfill aren't going, and that's important to all of us. Another good reason for us to recycle. So again, give us a call, come out, let us help you get started, talk to you about all of the reasons why recycling is important. And until next time, everyone take care, and I hope you're all off to a good start to the spring.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. We do hope you'll come in to see us soon. Our high school show is open this week, and it's not here yet, but it will be open by the time you see this, and it's honestly one of the best shows of the year. It's like the High Museum of Art in here once the high school show comes in. I'm telling you, Walton County has some of the best art teachers around. It's just amazing. And then after that, we have the Congressional Art Contest. That's a district-wide contest that Congressman Heiss hosts here. Really excited about hosting that. This is our third year in a row to host that event for Congressman Heiss. Also, we have a couple of new things for you if you come by. We have this little postcard that lists all of the shows for the rest of the year, kind of a quick list of many of the programs that we have here from our summer camps and Walton Writers and our ongoing classes, the pottery studio, the gift shop. All of kind of our big programs are listed on here, so you don't forget. Our website is on here, our phone number is on here. It's a great thing just to grab while you're here and stick it on your refrigerator so you don't forget about us. You can always jump online to MonroeWaltonArts.org and see what we offer for our classes coming up. Our summer camps are live now. We're already getting people registered for our summer camps. We have 5 weeks of summer camps in June and July. They're from 9 to 12 each week that we host them. We have 4 weeks of kind of mixed media camps and 1 week of clay camp. And these camps tend to fill up quickly. They're for ages 5 up to about 14. So jump online, MonroeWaltonArts.org, under classes and events, and then you'll see summer art camps, and you can sign up and learn more about the weeks and who's teaching what and what we have available. The other thing we have is we have a couple of fundraising opportunities. We are a nonprofit here, and we're the only nonprofit community arts center in Walton County. We do serve all of Walton County, and we have 50 events on the calendar for March alone. We have the gallery shows, we have the shop, we have ongoing activities that we work with the city and the county on. So please do support us, and there are ways that you can support us that honestly doesn't cost you a penny. You can register our organization at Kroger. If you have a Kroger Rewards card and you shop at Kroger, you can register for us for those rewards to go to. Doesn't cost you a penny, and you get all of your same rewards. Nothing changes from your end. It just sends us a few cents every time you shop at Kroger. The other way is Amazon Smile. And if you come in, I can give you all the instructions, or you can jump on your Amazon account and look for Amazon Smile. And then every time you shop at Amazon Smile, if you register for Monroe Walton Center for the Arts, again, it doesn't cost you anything. The prices are the same. Everything's the same. It just sends us a few cents every time that you shop on Amazon. So we do hope you'll come in and support us. Any donations that you give to us are tax deductible, and we have great incentives if you do join with us, 10% off in our shop. You also get access to members-only events and discounts in our classes and on the summer camps. So do please consider supporting us. We rely on the support and continued love that our community gives to us to keep our doors open and to provide the kinds of services that we're providing for free very often to our special needs neighbors, our Art MD healing art kits that we are providing for free, and so many other things that we're doing here for our community for either no cost or low cost, thanks to your help and support. So come see us soon. Thank you.
I'll show you some clips here. They're putting in a main power line down Spring Street. This is West Spring Street. First thing they do is they cut the top out of the existing pole, and I'll show you here. And they lay it on the ground. This one had to be laying right here beside this truck. And then they're putting up a, I think they call it a concrete pole or a metal pole. They put two pigs in front is right here, and then you see the section right there where they put the two together. And then this is a very tall pole, as you can see. And you have a huge crane here that is helping in the matter. There's one of the new poles right there put together. As you see, as they're coming out of town on Spring Street, you can see right there is another bottom in place. And then if you come out here farther, there's another bottom in place. So they're replacing, and you see how they cut the tops out of the other poles as they're replacing. I don't have any of it on camera, but they first dig a hole 16.5 feet that they mount this bottom part, that part down in there, and then they mount this top part onto it. So there's a 16.5 foot base down here that holds the bottom part.
Where do you come alive? A stadium, lecture hall, a music hall, church potluck? This year, you have a new spot, walkgeorgia.org, a free website that provides you with all the resources needed to get your heart rate up and body out in your community. Sign up and receive individual or group fitness tracking, fitness demos by certified trainers, recipes, and a guide to resources in your Georgia County, all in one easy-to-use site. When you move more, you live more. walkgeorgia.org.
You're watching Walton Entertainment.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car, dude. Dude, you drank way too much while you driving. I did not do that. Yes, you did. Dude, why are you driving? You drank way too much. I drank nothing. Yes, you do. Obviously. No, I didn't. Somebody help me. Okay? Get up. Dude, quit messing around. Get up, man. There. Say you're fine. Get up. Quit messing around. You're fine. Get up. Get up, dude. Dude, you gotta get up. So, come on. You ain't hurt. Dude, she's fine, man. She's not hurt.
Walton County 911.
Hi, yes, there's been an accident.
Okay, what is your location?
Bulldog Drive.
All right, how many vehicles involved?
2 vehicles. I think someone's dead. Please hurry.
All right, are there any other injuries?
I think one of them's unconscious.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get somebody on the way.
Thank you. I don't know. Help me hide my push. Dude. You gotta get up, dude. Dude, come on. Come on, dude.
Charlie, what did you do?
I did not. They came out of nowhere. It wasn't my fault.
It's your fault.
Definitely. Dude, why are you driving? That makes no sense. You drank way too much. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. I had nothing. Look what you did. Bo's hurt. I don't even know if Caroline's up. Caroline. She just had too much to drink. Look at this. Look at this. You think that's an accident? That just happens because you're not drunk? Yeah. I don't know. Med 2. Now you got fist pump. Why would you do that? Dude, literally, she's passed out. She has his guts out. They'll be fine, man. No, they won't. They'll be okay.
Your popo got her.
I don't know. I pulled up on the scene. My buddy Pastor was driving the car, and I think he had too much to drink.
He was the driver?
No, sir. He was in his car, and he was hit. Head on by my buddy Pastor. Yeah, Brad.
Apparently everybody left.
Is that your child?
Back out to sing.
Red 97's on scene.
Right here.
football field.
This is Paul Mullins, and I'm here at the Atlanta International Auto Show. This is the 37th time they've had it, and we're going to go around and look at some cars, so come along with me. In 2020, Toyota's coming out with this Corolla Hybrid. It's a very sporty looking car. This is a Subaru, just read a report, Consumer Report, and Subaru was rated the very top car in dependability. This is the Honda Accord. It has really grown over the years. It's a big full-size car now. Just let you look at this.
Welcome to the Honda display. If you're just joining us here at Honda, just wanted to take a few moments to let you know some of the new and exciting things here at Honda.
This is the Honda display. They've got all sizes of cars, wagons, minivans, trucks. Honda has a big selection of vehicles. The Lincolns have a distinct look. Their taillight goes all the way across the back. Pantry, here you see the different Lincolns and how the taillights go all the way across. And the Beetle starts at $20,900. Volkswagen still makes the Beetle, and they also make it in a convertible model. And there's a convertible Volkswagen Beetle. Here's your regular Corolla. You can see price started at $18,700. Get estimated 28 and 36. Now, if you have enough money, you could buy you one of these Lamborghinis. This is the new Toyota Supra. That is a fabulous looking car. They have really changed the body style from the old. It really looks like a sporty car. It's coming this 335 horsepower turbocharged.
Check it out.
And it's an 8-speed transmission. Fabulous looking car. Here's a Toyota car that's being tested in Japan, and the reason it's leaning like that is if you just take a curve, it will lean into the curve. And this is an electric model. How many miles?
Tested in Japan.
Cars of the future, I believe, are going to really be changing. Those colors. This is a Dodge Ram 4x4. Notice it's got the box here on the fender and even has a 110 plug right here. This kind of sums it up. This is Paul Mullins with Walton Entertainment, and I hope you've enjoyed the Atlanta International Car Show.
Is Marlene's here?
She is.
Okay. Oh, there's Marlene. Wait, because life is hard.
Yeah.
Life is hard. Marlene says, soften it with laughter. That's become Marlene Buchanan's mantra. She knows there are a limited number of bless your hearts a Southern woman can give an undeserving person. She's a wife, mother, and mother of a special needs son, an educator, and life participant. She has presented her, this has presented her with moments when Southern charm and grace has not been enough, but finding humor in the situation has. Her book, Life is Hard, Soften It with Laughter, is now available. It's a collection of essays based on observations of life, but with a little twist to the interpretation. Here's Marlene.
There you go.
Commercial.
Exactly.
Also available back there and down in front. Well, we have been debating as to whether or not I was going to read a story or just talk. Because today we've been out stealing daffodils from an abandoned house, and I haven't prepared anything for tonight. So, you know, you're just out there digging in the dirt, hoping that nobody catches you, comes by and says, you know, you're trespassing. You know, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. Anyway, just let me tell you a little bit about myself. My maiden name is Ratledge. When I first started teaching, I was in the city of Atlanta. And I very proudly wrote my name, Marlene Ratledge, on the board. And I taught art, so I wrote down, you know, this was going to be an art class on color and drawing and design. I was so proud of myself. I was so impressed, you know. Well, I'm up there trying to explain about the class, and this little ebony arm twists up just like this and says, "Is you any kin to that policeman, Detective Ratledge?" "Why, yes, he's my daddy." "Well, he arrested me." I'm sorry. I don't know why I was sorry, because obviously I didn't do anything to be. My daddy had arrested 12 of my first period students. It was a wonderful semester at Roosevelt High School. I could do no wrong. If I needed something, people would just, you know, anything. Police officers would walk down the hall, come to the door. My first name is Patricia. My daddy calls me Patsy. Officer would stick his head in, or one of the detectives, and say, "Patsy, can I use your office?" And I just throw them the keys. The kids were like, "Oh, we are so good." Well, I went from there to another school, Hoke Smith in Atlanta, and the experience was not very good. I had two students that were trying to sneak a cigarette up on the roof of the building. And yes, and this is a story in the book. While they were up there were two little girls, and while they were up there, another boy joined them, and he tried to rape one of them, and when she fought him off, he tried to throw her off the top of the 3rd floor. And the other girl managed to get down to my room. I was the only classroom on the 3rd floor. And she came running in, and the other little girl was shortly coming behind her, you know, kind of scraped up and with her blouse torn. And so I'm trying to take them down to the office, and they're trying to tell me what's going on. And the word gets around that I can identify this other boy. Well, I really couldn't. I knew his first name, that's all I knew. But the kids thought I could identify him. So from then on, I was persona non grata in that school. You know, the kids would say nasty things. I got stabbed in the leg. A young man, and I'll never forget this. You know what a clouded cataract looks like that hasn't been removed? Well, this boy came in, big afro. I mean, I'm old. This was the time. Came in, and
inappropriately put his hands on me, and I went down to the office and reported it, and they never sent Daddy. They always sent one of the other detectives and everything. I went home that night and told Mom and Daddy what had happened. Daddy called the detective that was sent out for it. They never found the person. And I thought, yeah, I'm not real happy in the city of Atlanta. If I could have stayed at Roosevelt, it was great. But Hoke Smith was just a different attitude. So I left and I went back to college. Went to my very first day on the job at Duluth High School in Gwinnett County. Wrote my name up on the board, wrote all the stuff down. And some kid in the back said, I don't think I can say your name. Ratledge. I don't think I can say your name. I think I'll just call you Art Woman. Well, for the next 6 years, I was either Miss Rat or Art Woman. And it was wonderful. I loved every minute of it. I now have a collection on my grandmama's sewing machine of all of these little mice that my kids have given me through the years. And even when I left there and went to another school and they kind of forced me into using my husband's name instead of Ratledge, I really fought for women's lib. But anyway, I still have all of these little mice, and my web page and everything else has become Miss Rat Writes, and that's the story behind that. When I first started into writing, it was for Gwinnett Citizen and the Snellville Patch, and my column was called Hey Y'all, because I am from the South. My mother was from South Georgia, my daddy was from Atlanta, and I was raised by another lady who came over every day until I was like 16 years old, and I was driving her home. And she told Mom and Daddy, you don't really need me. And so she went to a job where she could make more money. But times have changed. I've had a lot of experiences in life. I married my husband back there, Snell. We've been together 43 years. He turned me down the first 3 times I asked him to marry me. I was really trying hard to get him pregnant, but anyway, finally he said, well, if you ever find a ring, and I'm going, we never looked for a ring. Why? So anyway, one day we were going to go see the Pink Panther Returns. How many of you are old enough to remember the original Pink Panther? See, you're old too. Okay, and we were walking down Davison's, remember Davison's? Estate sale jewelry. And I walked over and I saw this. And I thought, this is the prettiest thing I have ever seen. So the next day when Snell comes to pick me up, he says, will you marry me? And I thought, it was about damn time, you know. I mean, so we decided we got engaged. We bought property, we started building a house, and we planned a wedding. We married 364 days after our first date. Oh. So, and we've been together 43 years. I have James back there in the back, who is the fodder for most of my stories, and who continues to bring home things like flying monkeys and destitute cats and pitiful lizards and Fiona the deer. So anyway, my book is all about little stories like that. I am a comma queen, so yes, there may be grammatical errors in this, and if so, tough. So anyway, but thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
As people, we're just curious about how things work. We want to get closer and more involved to see the inner workings. Welcome to A Look Inside. Join us as we take a closer look at people, places, and things, and what makes them work.
Terrapin Beer Company is a hidden jewel north of Athens at 265 Newton Bridge Road. We've been in this building since about 2007. This is where all Terrapin beer is actually produced now. And it's a fantastic place to hang out with your friends. We have live music Wednesday through Saturday. Doors open at 5:30. And it's just a great place to hang out. Lots of great beer on tap too.
And this Hopzilla is not something you want to drink and get on a go-kart.
Well,
It's so.
it
It
depends.
seems kind of strong.
All right, so Hopzilla's are one of our monster beers. This is we do about 3 to 4 of those a year, and it's where we actually experiment with a stronger beer style. Hopzilla is a double IPA. It's one of my favorites. I'm an IPA girl, and it's pretty strong. It's about 10.
It's good flavor. It's got a lot of flavor to it.
Yes.
If you like something that's a little less zingy, what would you go for?
All right, for a milder beer, I would recommend either Golden Ale or Rye Pale Ale. Rye Pale Ale is actually what got Terrapin started in 2002. We premiered it at the Classic City Beer Festival, which is held right here in Athens, of 2002. Then 6 months later, we took Rye Pale Ale to the Great American Beer Festival, which is held annually in Denver, Colorado. There it won gold medal for American Pale Ale. Best Pale Ale in the country in 2002.
So, the turtle. Why the turtle?
Good question. Spike, who's our head brewer here at Terrapin, he is a big Deadhead. Since we are all about music, Athens has a wonderful music culture here as well. We decided to name Terrapin after Terrapin Station, the Grateful Dead album. And yeah, so that's kind of, we also found their album artist, Richard Biffle. We met him at Bonnaroo a couple years ago. And he also does our illustrations of our turtles, and that you can see on our t-shirts, our packaging in stores as well.
And you have bands out here. I mean, you come out here. You come in. You can take the tour. You get a glass. You get some tickets. You get to test out all the beer here.
Yes.
And then you can go and see Kate here and go through and take the tour.
Yep.
So, tell the folks the website and where you can find it here in Athens.
Okay. You can find more information about Terrapin Beer Company at terrapinbeer.com. And we're open to the public 5:30 through 7:30, Wednesday through Saturday. So make sure you come and see us.
I'm here just celebrating the history of beer, which is in order to save people's lives. Beer was invented in order to be a sanitary enough drink so that people didn't die of different waterborne diseases. And you know, if that's going to save someone's life, I'll drink a beer.